I'm Kylie Cole, the founder and president of the Capes and Crowns Foundation. We are a nonprofit here in Portland that serve Oregon and Washington families with photography services. We have multiple services for kids and families that have gone through really hard times, whether it's foster care, special needs, serious illness, cancer, victims of abuse, trauma, tragedy, and loss. Whatever it is, we come in and we essentially provide a service to them where they get to kind of forget about what they're going through at the time. Originally, this had started as a birthday party business. And so I decided to do photo shoots with kids for their birthday. I'd bring costumes and props and all this fun stuff to their birthday party, and they'd get dressed up and play, and I'd take pictures. And it was a fairly new idea, so there was not really a market for it. So I had to do a lot of advertising and I just didn't have the time for that with all the other sessions that I was doing. So it just kind of never really happened, other than I did a model call. And one of the very first model call applicants was this family of 4 boys. And I was like, oh, perfect. They'd be great for the Avengers. And they were adorable. And so we did this shoot with them. It was right around golden hour during the summertime, and this was 2 years ago, and we were on top of a parking garage, and there's this one little boy, his name's Elijah, and he was dressed up as Thor, and he's kind of our really kind of the inspiration for all of this. There's this picture, and I remember taking it, and I was like, this is really cool, and when I showed his mom, she was just blown away and started getting emotional about it. And I was like, well, it's a cool picture, but didn't think it was that cool. Come to find out, he recently had overcome his battle with Ewing sarcoma. So he had cancer in his foot, and this picture, the sun is coming down straight onto his foot that had been partially amputated. And so his foot is standing on the Thor hammer. And so he's standing on this hammer, and the sun ray, like full-on sun rays are just coming straight down onto his foot. And the look on his face is just, I mean, it's like he was Thor, for real. He's kind of embodied this really confident superhero, and nothing was going to scare him, nothing was going to bring him down. And the Ewing sarcoma especially isn't going to do that. And so for them to have these photos where it kind of embodies his strength, and it reminds him of just how strong he is and what he can overcome and what he has overcome. And so with having those photos to look back on, they're really powerful because they can, when it is hard, because it will be hard, they can look back and see, I can do this. The most memorable Capes and Crowns shoot that we've had so far was with a little girl named Addy. We had gotten her nomination back in July, and I was actually on vacation when I got her application in, and we actually didn't have service where we were, so it was kind of shocking that I was able to get the application to begin with. And so when I saw the circumstances of what was going on, my husband and I made the decision to actually leave our vacation early and just drove 9 hours straight back home. Pretty much right when I got home, I got in the car and went to this Inspire session with this little girl.
So Capes and Crowns Foundation came into our family when we were reached out to due to my daughter, Addy. She was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia in 2014. She went through 6 rounds of chemo, 7 months in the hospital, and we went home in remission and hoping to be cured. Unfortunately, January 2016, she relapsed, and we went through another 4 rounds of chemo, total body radiation, and a bone marrow transplant in hopes of a cure. Unfortunately for her, the graft-versus-host disease took over and the AML came back, and she relapsed a second time. And she went on hospice July 2016, and we were reached out to by the Capes and Crowns Foundation to provide her with a photo shoot of whatever she wanted to be. And she chose a mermaid. She loved mermaids. She aspired to be a water animal doctor, as per her words. And so the thought of being a mermaid was her way of being able to reach all the animals to doctor them as she could. We met with Kylie at a boat launch, the best place for a beach, and Addy got to be decked out with mermaid jewels and makeup, and it was just amazing to provide, one of those unfortunately lost moments for your child. It was, you're always looking to provide those memories and those things that you get to hold on to forever, because once they're gone, this is all you have left. And so with patience and time, due to the fragile condition she was in, we got these amazing photos that we now get to cherish for however long we can keep them. When I see these photos now that Addy's gone, they definitely always bring a smile to my face, make me feel warm inside. This was, that opportunity for her to have joy when she knew her body was failing her, to escape the body that was falling apart around her, and yet still enjoy some of the time she had left. So these photos bring a lot of emotion and a lot of joy at the same time, because she really enjoyed them as well.
And then there's this one picture, and it was right at golden hour, and the sun is kind of shining down on her, and I should stop, but lying down in the sand, and the sun is behind her, and it's just a gorgeous photo. But she looks at peace. It was really special, I think, to see her she looked like she was comfortable and at peace and happy. So did the shoot, wrapped it up, and got everything, and I just remember going home, and I think I worked on the photos pretty close after that, and I posted them, and they're by far some of my favorite photos that we've done. Just thematically, I love mermaids, and it's a really fun theme, but just the circumstances, because she had gone home on hospice, and for us to be able to give Addy's family these photos, because 16 days later she passed away, and so to have those photos so close when she passed was, I think, really impactful.
My name is Donna Linvog. I'm a pediatrician at Northwest Permanente through Kaiser, and I also work on Wednesdays at Cares Northwest, which is a child abuse resource center where we do evaluations for kids who have undergone abuse, whether it be neglect or physical or sexual abuse. I think the benefits are huge, and just feeling important and feeling a way to define themselves as a family unit, and as a individual's positive side, and really give them a lot of psychological strength, especially during a hard time. When you're going through a really tough time, it's nice to be able to look back to positives during that time. And these photo shoots and these Inspire sessions really help them embrace the powerful part of them to get through and feel stronger through that hard time.
The Inspire sessions give the kids a chance to transform into their favorite characters. Whatever they're inspired by the most, whether it be a superhero or a princess or a zombie or a pirate or their favorite athlete, we take that love and we turn it into a photo shoot. So we provide professional photography, hair and makeup services, costumes, props, the whole thing, and they can invite their family, their friends to come, and we provide costumes for everybody and essentially turn them into whatever it is that they're inspired by the most. So in addition to the Inspire sessions, we also have the celebration session, which essentially is photo documentation of a celebration of life service for any child that has passed, regardless of the circumstances. We send our photographers out and they photograph their memorial service. the benefits of this are, I think, monumental. The families get a chance to kind of look back on a time where they're not really thinking about hiring a photographer to photograph a memorial. But it is very, I think, powerful in the grieving process to allow them to look back on that time of celebration for their child and to help the healing process. We also offer memory sessions, which is hospice care photography. Essentially, we kind of act like a fly on the wall and come in and photograph those moments between you and the child and the family and their friends, kind of essentially saying goodbye. When a child goes home in hospice, whether it's at their house or to a hospice care facility, occasionally there's a birthday party or a family gathering to where they can come and everyone can kind of say their goodbyes. And that's a time that we come and just document it for the family for that healing process later on, to where they can look back and remember. Our embrace sessions, NICU photography. So when a family goes through the NICU, sometimes their baby is in the NICU for just a few days, sometimes it's in there for months. And so we come in and we kind of do a lifestyle newborn shoot, essentially, just documenting the family in this stage of life, where they're at. It's a really hard thing having a child in the NICU. And we want to come in and document that little baby's growth and their strength and their tiny little fighter spirit. And it can be a really special time for them, and we want them to really embrace their time in the NICU and embrace their tiny little baby.
My name's Ashley Morse, and I am here to share a little bit about what Capes and Crowns Embrace Sessions have done for me and my family. When I was pregnant with my son, it was the best pregnancy I'd ever had. I had had two previously. Both had been trying for different reasons. So we were just really grateful. We were thankful for how smooth the pregnancy was going. I started getting really bad upper right abdominal pain, and that is a big sign of preeclampsia. And I had some other of the symptoms, and so my husband came home from work, and I finally said, look, I think I need to go to the hospital. The pain was getting almost intolerable. They did an emergency C-section. I was in the room within a half hour, and they couldn't keep me conscious. So I was going in and out of consciousness. I was very, very sick. I was pretty much in a controlled overdose, which means you could possibly imagine Kason, my son, who was in me, was getting that medicine too. And they told me that I could see my baby, when I was able to walk. So you can imagine, after a C-section, a lot of drugs, and literally on the verge of dying, it took me some time to be able to walk again. So Capes and Crowns showed up, and they went into the NICU, and they took pictures. They had pictures of my husband by his side, one with Kason holding my husband's thumb, and my baby hooked up to the CPAP, and thankfully he was doing well. He was recovering well. I mean, obviously, there's always someone who's worse off, and there was definitely evidence of that around him, and smaller babies and babies fighting harder, and so I was super grateful, but he still had a road of recovery to go, and so that's how I met my baby. I met my baby through those pictures, because I was not able to get up and go see him myself. So that in itself, the embrace aspect of Capes and Crowns was tremendous to me. Being able to meet him in that way Pictures are precious in our family's life as it is, but then receiving those pictures of him in the NICU was overwhelming.
There are so many amazing, talented artists out there that we should come together and use this to give back to the families that really need it. And so sessions like Addy Joe's and Elijah's, I think are really powerful to me and kind of give me that motivation to keep going and to really grow this foundation. And so we can help more kids just like them, and building a team and recruiting our volunteers and to really make a difference in our community.